It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you my friend, Mr. R. Jerol Kivett. He is president of Kivett Incorporated, located in the district that I represent in Clinton, North Carolina. The Kivetts started their family business years ago in 1958. Along with his father, they pulled their money together to start their business and continue it on. The Kivetts are the largest family-owned and operated pew manufacturer and finisher in the United States for churches across the country. Mr. Kivett has been at the helm since 1972. He is testifying today on behalf of the National Federation of Independent Businesses, founded in 1943. The NFIB is the leading small business association representing small and independent businesses. Welcome, Mr. Kivett. We're anxiously waiting your testimony for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Good afternoon, Chairman Graves, Ranking Member Velasquez, and members of the committee. My name is Jerol Kivett, and I'm the owner of Kivett Incorporated. I'm pleased to be here as a small business owner and a member of the National Federation of Independent Business, the nation's leading small business advocacy organization, to discuss the negative impact expanding 1099 reporting provision will have on my business and small businesses in general. I would also like to thank Congresswoman Ellmers for working with me to participate in this important hearing. Kivett Incorporated is located in Clinton, North Carolina, and is the largest family-owned and operated church furniture manufacturer and pew refinisher in the United States. In addition, our company manufactures and refurbishes other church furniture and fixtures, such as steeples and stained glass windows. We also build and refurbish furniture for courtrooms. Kivett provides a full range of services. We build new furniture, refurbish existing furniture, and provide both delivery and installation. Our business was started by my father in 1958, and I took over in the early 1970s. At the time, we had fewer than 10 employees, but with hard work, we grew the business. In our peak, we worked as many as 160 employees. When business was at its best, we were completing one church per day. The last few years, business has been down by about 50%. The church furniture industry is small and competitive. With the recession, many of our customers saw donations drop, meaning they had less to spend on renovations and expansions. As a result, our current workforce has dropped to about 55 employees. In the face of the economic challenges facing small businesses, we are confronting daunting new policy changes as well. Working through a recession is tough, but adding to the burden with cumbersome and confusing new laws and regulations makes the recovery twice as hard. The uncertainty being created by Washington is stifling a small business recovery. The new health care law and the uncertainty it is creating for small business owners makes it harder for us to determine what our cost will be. The expanded 1099 reporting requirement included in the health care law is a good example of the kind of misguided policy that works against the interests of small businesses. Filing our annual tax return is never a task we look forward to, but making filing more burdensome only drains resources from small businesses like ours. In fact, a recent NFIB Small Business Problems and Priorities survey, tax complexity was ranked as the 5th biggest problem for small business owners. Small business owners spend on average $74 per hour for paperwork associated with tax compliance, the highest paperwork cost imposed on small businesses by the federal government. The expanded 1099 reporting requirement in the health care law adds to this already heavy burden and increases our operating costs. Previously, businesses were required to file a Form 1099 for services received from an unincorporated business of over $600. The health care law expands the requirement in 2 ways. First, businesses must file for services received of over $600 from both incorporated and unincorporated businesses. And second, for property or material purchased in excess of $600. Over the last 3 years, we filed approximately 25 Form 1099s annually, and at our business peak, we filed 50 per year. With the new health care law, we will average about 300 filings based on today's business activity. If we reach our peak again, we will file about 600 forms annually. I will have to dedicate additional time and money to ensure that I comply with this new requirement. This diverts resources away from the core functions of my business. The burden can't simply be measured in the number of forms, but also in the information that we will have to track to complete the forms. We will have to follow the amounts of our purchases of each vendor to determine when or if we meet the $600 filing threshold. In addition, we will have to request the taxpayer identification numbers of our vendors, as well as correct addresses to send the final forms. The expanded reporting requirement also applies to my customers, meaning that we will receive requests for information and more 1099s for the work and property we supply. Our customers, mostly churches, could pose a unique problem for us. Churches are not sophisticated taxpayers. This places the burden upon my company to ensure that their forms are completed properly. This means more resources being dedicated to filling out forms and less dedicated to serving our clients and growing our business. This new reporting burden falls especially hard on small businesses. Unlike large firms, most of the small businesses lack an in-house accounting department to handle tax filings. For the smallest businesses, increased paperwork is often handled by the owner. The new 1099 requirement will also place small businesses at a competitive disadvantage. Some businesses may look to move to larger vendors to consolidate their purchase and reduce the number of forms they file, or that can handle the new reporting burden for them, meaning fewer customers and opportunities for small business. The expanded 1099 reporting requirement places an unnecessary and onerous burden on small business owners. It is time for Congress to repeal the provision before it goes into effect next year. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before the committee, and I look forward to any questions at the proper time.